He was another great actor of Hollywood, becoming a Hollywood actor from his amazing stage performances and being an established stage actor. A war hero to being a hero of the West in many movies on the silver screen. With a career spanning over 50 years and creating a dynasty that lives in Hollywood today. A legendary star who was able to work with Hollywood's finest actors and actresses during the start of his career. This is Henry Fonda, and this is his basic biography. Early life. Henry Fonda was born on the 16th of May 1905 in Nebraska, USA. He was born to a father who was a print engineer and a mother who was a homemaker, which both of them lived in Omaha, Nebraska. He grew up in Omaha, where he went to school and spent his early life wanting to become a journalist and have a chance to study journalism whilst at school. He would even have time to work outside of school and even attend many events based on joining the Scouts at a young age. Henry Fonda sometimes worked as a phone engineer in many phone companies, as well as creating art and drawings himself in his spare time when in education. This was during the 1910s. He was not able to graduate from university, but only graduate from high school, in which he was able to lose his chances of becoming a career journalist and would work for a credit company after not graduating from his university degree of journalism. He was able to become a great athlete at school with a chance to win many awards, and even being a good swimmer and skater to be far none the greatest out of all these two sports. He even had time to perform in various plays and even become a stage actor whilst in his early life. Even working in the credit company, he would even perform within the community halls and even community theatres within Omaha, and would make friends with various stage actors and performers during the 1920s, who would later become actors themselves and even become stars in Hollywood. Acting career. He became a stage actor based on himself not working as a journalist, and would excel in art and even in the art of acting. He would start acting during the middle 1920s, as he would be getting a start as becoming a actor career and even a new goal of being an actor, rather than spending most of his life in a part of a credit company as a cashier or even as an administrator, in which he would work for after his university. He stayed in Omaha or in the Omaha area to act in various stage performances. He would make friends during his time as an actor, even becoming friends with Marlon Brando and his family. This meant Marlon Brando himself would become an actor one day, and even become a great one, as well as Henry Fonda. They will too become leads on the stage. Whilst being a stage actor, he spent time traveling around the United States by performing in many plays and even stage performances in different states and countries and counties, which he made him a great actor. Due to becoming a stage actor, he made friends again with the acting community, where the actors were able to become great silver screen actors in the future. He met stars like James Stewart in the main and in many stage performances and stage productions in domestic tours. Whilst being able to whilst meeting and greeting James Stewart as a great actor, he managed to take on Broadway with him as well, making both of them have Broadway appearances that were popular to many people around the New York State area and even around the country. His first critically acclaimed appearance on stage was in the play The Farmer Takes a Wife, and this was during the Great Depression era, where it was hard for people to get stage credits and stage performances in New York. Where, but however, Henry Fonda was able to become a household name as a great stage actor. The 1930s was a decade where he was able to be given a contract from Hollywood based on being the stage actor at the time that was great, and even money was scarce for him at the time whilst performing. His performances weren't that great during the start, but he stayed on as a stage actor in the mid 1920s to the 1930s, but then due to excelling in his career. But Hollywood executives wanted him to be a leading man in many of their films, and even wanted to make a film out of his first stage play. And he did star in his first movie performance based on his great stage play lead, and this was the film The Farmer Takes a Wife in 1935, but in film and even shown on silver screen. Stage star to Hollywood star. Henry Fonda starred in his first movie that was based on his stage success. Hollywood was keen on having this once great stage actor to becoming part of the movie scene. He would sign contracts with 20th Century Fox production company and having a chance to become their flagship actor in which could star in dramas to westerns. His next notable film was Jezebel in 1938, where he was able to play a male lead with Betty Davis being the female lead for this drama based on the South of the US. When being well established in Hollywood, he was able to star in his very first western and even be typecasted as a cowboy or an outlaw in various films straight afterwards. Sometimes based on history and being historical. Particular one that he was great in and even had his first appearance was Jesse James in 1939, co-starring John Carradine, and Tyrone Power. He would return to being a great actor in the 1940s and would play heroes and even villains depending on the roles he was given, and becoming an icon in this particular decade. He starred in the sequel film of Jesse James, and in the 1939 film, but this was called The Return of Frank James in 1940, where John Carradine returned alongside with him. Plus, managed to be nominated in many other films, and even have another iconic film with himself being the lead, and this was called The Grapes of Wrath, that was shown in 1940 as well, and even being based on an award-winning book. Whilst being an actor, he would enlist in the United States Navy during the Second World War, serving from 1942 to 1946 by helping his country in a time of need, when other and even few actors of the United States were doing the same. Once the war was over, he could continue being a legendary actor. This meant he would have to adapt to various movies and various roles based on the Western genre, and even still being typecasted in these movies, as well as being an action star when he got older, and even having being an older person on the silver screen. His acting credits were being known throughout Hollywood. The post-war Henry Fonda would travel around the world to perform in plays and play in various movies that made him once a great actor, or that was one of the great actors of all time. He starred in The Fugitive in 1947, where he was able to play with many stars from Latin America, then starring in Fort Apache in 1948, where he would be starring alongside the great John Wayne, who made them both a great team, and even both great leads in this film based on the Old West. The 1950s was still a great year for many films that were played with Henry Fonda in mind, and he was able to play a older hero, and sometimes playing in modern dramas to historical dramas, depending on the production company, as well as the film that was given to him. Personal life and final years. Henry Fonda was married at least 5 times in his life, and had 3 children, with his daughter Jane Fonda and even his son Peter Fonda, were able to also become legendary actors and actresses of their time. His first wife was Margaret Sullivan, with their relationship lasting from 1931 to 1933. Second wife was Frances Brokaw, with their relationship lasting from 1936 to 1950. Third wife was Susan Blanchard, with their relationship lasting from 1950 to 1956. And his fourth wife was Alfreda Franceschetti, with their relationship lasting from 1957 to 1961. And his final wife was Shirley Adams, with their relationship lasting from 1965 to his death in 1982. He continued to act in more movies during the 1950s and would receive many awards, with some nominations based on his contribution to film and even acting in general. He would star in 2 iconic films in the 1950s, and they were War and Peace in 1956 with Audrey Hepburn, then starring in 12 Angry Men in 1957, based on the crime drama, with notable actors being attached to this film. The same happened in 1956, in the 1960s, where he was able to star in war films like The Longest Day in 1962, and even How the West Was Won in the same year. He would star in more movies in later decades, such as in the 1970s and even in the 1980s. But his last film appearance was in Summer Solstice in 1981, and a year before his death, and even would spend time working on television before his death in shows such as Roots, and even many more television shows shown in the particular decades of the 1970s and the 1980s. Legacy and death. Sadly, Henry Fonda passed away on the 12th of August 1982 due to a heart attack or heart disease in LA, USA. He was 77 years old at the time of his death. He was able to contribute in both Hollywood and even the United States by being one of the best war heroes and even heroes of the silver screen. He would manage to work with many political parties before his death, whilst being a notable Hollywood actor. He was admired by President Roosevelt and even President Kennedy at their time in office, and even becoming leaders of the United States straight after. Inspired by many, and even inspiring many actors and actresses of his time. His legacy still lives on, with his family becoming great actors and actresses of their time, and even creating his own dynasty based on his grandchildren taking part in Hollywood and even acting in general. He was regarded as a legend based on his performances within his movies and even stage performances that have now been shown around the world, and inspiring more and more actors and actresses of the modern day to watch his performances and try to be like him. Even in the United States, they were able to honor him and make him one of the greatest actors of classic Hollywood, then having many stamps and landmarks being remembered with his name and even remembering him in general. Thank you for watching. My name is Suki Cookie, and I do have more content like this. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you.